from Argentina.
Yeah.
You speak English?
יכול להגיד בבית, תגיד מאוד אצלך בראש.
גם הוא היה הרבה גם צ'ילה. גם הוא also
החבר שלי, ואימא שלי עשה זה יקרה פה בשביל להתחזק, בשביל להראות לנו שאנחנו צריכים להתחזק. הוא עשה את זה פה, זה סימן שפה צריך חיזוק.
Okay, I got a good picture. I want to respect you. I don't want to say things that I want to know what you want to know. That's why I asked you this first. That's important. Now I'm going to start by telling you a story. I heard this story from Rabbi Leib Box, the Yeshiva in Detroit, Zohar Levrot. That's all. I heard it, I would say, about 40 years ago. The story happened 30 years before that. About the 70-year-old story. Rabbi Box was in Mir Yeshiva when the Germans came to Europe. And you know the story about the Mir Yeshiva, that how they were able to get through certain international channels, visas and passports and all kind of entrance and exits to get to escape from Europe, and they ended up in Japan. And after that, they went to China. And there was a yeshiva of 250 Bachrim. All their parents were left in Europe. And they escaped. And they went through Russia on a train. 3 weeks it took until they finally got to China and Japan, and they ended up in Japan, China. And on some level, of course, they felt fortunate that they're out of the turmoil of Europe. On the other side, they were all lonely. They didn't have parents and grandparents and did that all by themselves, and it was plenty scary over there. Almost as soon as they got there was one bocher in the yeshiva who got very sick and was lifted from typhus. And this put a tremendous scare in all the bocher. And there was a levaya. And there were maspidim. And all the maspidim stood up and they all spoke about the tragedy of the levaya. And how bad it is. And to underscore the need to do tshuva. And what does Hashem want for us, from us? And we're here far away from our parents, and to that insult to injury, there's a war going on, and who knows what's going to be. And now this. And everybody was muddied, shaken by the whole thing. Shaken, scared, and he said it was the aura, the atmosphere was one of depression. And here the levaya is going on. Then there was another maspid that stood up, not from the first one, but from the last one. His name was Rav Chasko Levenstein. You heard of Rav Chasko, the name is Rav Chasko, the mashgiach of the Mir Yeshiva. The Talmud of Galton Kellen, a grace of tzaddik. And he stood up at the levaya, and the nifter was right in front of him. Listen what he said. It was after all these other maspidim. He stands up and he says, Lo hanochish meimis, ela hachet meimis. Ein misa b'lo chet. Don't think that nechoshim could kill. Don't think that bombs could kill. Don't think that sicknesses could kill. There's only one thing that causes death, and that is chet. That doesn't mean this person's chet. It doesn't mean that. I don't want you to think that. It means there is chet in the world. And when that happens, bad things happen. And he went on, that kind of a drosha, well, Mason went to the phone. And then I'll explain this better. But what happened was that all the bochum, 250 bochum that were sitting there broken to pieces, started to get some wind back in their sails. They picked up. And he said, just like chet causes tragedy, we have an eitzah. There's a way to neutralize the problem. And there's only one way to make things better. And that's by doing just the opposite of chet. By being have a yachas and identifying with the yeshiva, by coming on time to davening, by coming to Musa Seder on time, not leaving early, come to all the storing, and learn. And then there's no problems at all, because there aren't any physical problems ever. There aren't ever any soinim, there aren't ever any ohevi, there aren't ever any milchamas, bombs, and wars and armies. Never. Everything only happens when there's good things in the world, good things happen. When there's bad things in the world, bad things happen. And that's all we have to think about. Now, let's say that for a moment. He said, I want to know what happened. I'll tell you the end of the story was that all the Baruch got up from the Vaya, they ran to the Bismedish, and they started learning like there's no tomorrow, and it was a חיזוק noyer v'oyam that carried them through. I don't want to exaggerate, but it put them on their feet. And that's what the yeshiva got back together, and nobody, they didn't battle any Torah, they learned, they davened, he was loyal. That's Reb Chatzkel. But it needed Reb Chatzkel to say it. And to not be afraid of the way someone fun. He did something bad about the boy. If I can't, the boy was could be a korban. The boy, for some reason, the Ebershah decided that should be. But that's not our Yisik. Probably was a Gora Grace Tzaddik. Gora Grace Tzaddik. Big tzaddikim. But I'll explain what I want to say a little bit better. There's a Chazal that says like this. Kosher zivugo shel odom, zivugo shel odom lifnei hamokum kekriyas yamsuf. That to find the shidduch for a person lifnei hamokum is hard, difficult for the Rebbeinu Shalom, like kriyas yamsuf. And it also says kosher mizoynoisav shel odom lifnei hamokum kekriyas yamsuf. The mizoynos, to provide parnosa for every person, is also hard for the Rebbeinu Shalom, like kriyas yamsuf. So this Chazal needs a lot of explanation. First of all, there's nothing hard for the Rebbeinu Shalom, but it says that this is hard. Why are these two things so difficult? And then how b'chal is that difficulty? What difficulty? Hakol yochel, Hashem is hakol yochel, he can do everything, and everything, and he does. There's no such thing as difficult. What does Michal mean to say? So Rabbi Yehuda says stuff like this. Let's first take Mazonos. Parnasa. Adam Arishan, before I went out of Gan Eden, he had parnasa. Malachim brought him wine, and they roasted for him basar, and they prepared the wine, and everything was fine. He sat, had parnasa, he learned Torah, he lived a life of luxury. After the Chet, all that changed. Now he's got to move out of Gan Eden. And the Ebershah tells him, B'zeh zapecha torchal lechem. They have to go to work now. Now when you have to go to work, the pshat is that I'm still giving you parnasa, but you have to go to work. And you have to work hard. You're going to have to clean out the ground first, and there are going to be thorns, and there are going to be soilless, and to clean your hands to do that. You have to plant, you have to water, you have to nurture, you have to do it, and then you have to cut it down, and you have to take it home, and you have to do all the processes of the Sidur, the Pasach, the Shabbos, all the Malachos of Shabbos, till you get a piece of bread on your table. It's going to take a lot of Isik. A lot of Malachos. But finally you'll get something, but it's not going to be easy. But you'll have parnasa, I'll give you parnasa, but you got to work at it. Now what determines the kind of parnasa that you're going to get, and when you're going to get it, and how you're going to get it? Let's take a look at Shidduchim. What determines which man is going to marry which lady? The Rebbeinu Shalom figures all that out. Sometimes it goes easy, and sometimes it's not so easy. Same as with parnasa. Some people have it easy, and some people don't. Now what determines that? So the Chazal tell us, both of these things are kosher lifnei hamokum kekriyas yamsuf. Just like kriyas yamsuf was difficult, this is also difficult. Now where do you see the difficulty in kriyas yamsuf? So the Chazal tell us that the Eden went out of Mitzrayim, and they were standing by the Yamsuf. And in the Yamsuf, there was already something happened. They were Nitonim Badin. The Klal Yisrael had to go through a Mishpat and a Din. Because the Malachim Tanya, why are you saving the Yidden? They're Ohevi Avodah Zarah. Just like the Mitzrayim. They're Ohevi Avodah Zarah Mitzrayim. Halal Ohevi Avodah Zarah, v'halal Ohevi Avodah Zarah. They're both Ohevi Avodah Zarah. Why should those go through and these should not go through? They were Nitonim Badin. It wasn't so simple. The Rishon had to decide. What should they do? Go with the Mitzrayim or be saved? They heard them as well. In the end, they came through the answer. But it wasn't so simple. So you see, the Chazal called that kosher. Kosher lefnei mokum. As we said before, nothing is kosher lefnei mokum. The Rebbe can do anything he wants. Easy, simple. He does. He has a kol yochel. What makes it kosher is the ma'aseh b'nei odom that people do. If people do mitzvahs, that's easy. If people do averos, it's not so easy to save them through the Yam Suf. It's not so simple. The Chazal tell us they were nitonim badin. Maybe yeah, maybe not. Of the Bani Shalom, Rav Rachamov, Nischemno, made him come through. But what you see from over here is what the word kosher means. Kosher means when there's sin, then it's kosher. That makes things different. And the parnos is the same thing. Someone who's zerg the parnos, the Rebbe wants to give him parnos. So okay, if he has chatoim, it's not. He still can give him parnos, but it's not so easy. But easy, he can do whatever he wants. But I mean, maybe he's not so worthy of it. So that comes through with a little more doing on Hashem's side, where it really doesn't deserve it. But that's called kosher. Shidduchim are the same thing. A shidduch is like one bullet hitting the other bullet in midair. They have to find each other. Sometimes it goes easy, sometimes it doesn't. But it's kosher kikiyas yamsuf. That it means to tell you a message that whatever happens in the whole wide world, there aren't any misavavim or gormim. There aren't any causatory factors. There's only one causatory factor, and that is ruchnius. The Rabban Shalom. He is the siva of everything. Everything happens. He wants it. That's it. When he wants to happen, it happens. And when he doesn't want it to happen, it doesn't happen. And the way he runs this world is to judge all situations. How much ruchnius is there? How much gashmis is there? How much mitzvahs are there? How many averos are there? And that's how he goes around the world. B'roiv chochmasa. So the only thing that's ever kosher is when there's chet, and when it's not kosher, because there's a lesson for that. So Chazkel is playing at this Lavaya. We have to be like the Chazon Ish writes in a few places in the letters of the Chazon Ish. He calls the workings of the world, the things that happen in the world, a chido stuma. A chido is a riddle, and stuma means a locked. You can't get to the solution of the riddle. It's such a kasha. The whole world is a kasha. What's going on here? Why are there so many things in the world that we don't understand? Why is it Tzadik Torah, Rosh Toiv? Why is this, that? Why all these things happen? There's terrorist attacks later. There's all kind of sorrows in the world. All kind of gefährliche things. Why is this one in power? What's happened over here? What's going to be with the election? Everybody's nervous. What's going to be? What's going to be? What's going to be? There's only one group of people that understand the workings of the world, and that's a Talmidei Chacham. Talmidei Chacham that are oisik in Torah Shebal Peh. They're able to see through the world, and they're able to see Hashgacha Pratis, and if they don't understand it, but they'll understand whatever it is, it's Hashgachosai HaPratis, it's Ritzoyna HaToy, and that's what he wants, and what's going to be the way he wants it, no matter what you do about it. It's going to happen the way he wants it. And the whole world is a chidas duma, it's a locked riddle that we don't have explanations for, except we have to realize and we understand that David runs the world, he knows everything. And the more mitzvahs, the more toiv, and the more averis, the more ram. That's the bottom line, the middle line, the settled line, the first line, and all the only line. So when you feel like that, the Chazon this used to darshan all the time, in particularly over there in Shanghai. He used to manda oilam. don't separate yourself from the